Will here from Maxwell. I'm here to show you how to service your HRCFF windlass. I'm going to give you a big tip on making it easier to service this windlass. You're going to go on the foredeck and you're going to flip this lever up. You're going to go back to the helm, power the windlass up, and you're going to hold the down button for a count of 20. And what that's going to do is run the windlass and loosen this clutch nut for you. It's going to make it a lot easier to take apart, and you're not going to have to use this handle and crank on the windlass to try and loosen the clutch nut. Big tip. When that's done, turn the power off to the windlass, come back up and flip the lever back down, and now we're going to take this thing apart. You're going to need a 5mm Allen key and a small flat blade screwdriver to take this apart. So the flat blade screwdriver is used just to pop this cover off. Make it a lot easier. So to take it apart, there are screws that hold the side of the case on. And there's 4 of them. So when you've loosened the 4 screws, the side of the case will come right off. When you have the side of the case off, that's the pressure arm that's in this unit. Now this is a wear item, so when you take it apart to service it, check your pressure arm to make sure it's not worn out. So we're going to take this clutch nut off and take the chain wheel off and grease both sides of it and put it back in. So right now I'm taking off the washer and the retaining nut. Because I powered it down, I've already loosened this clutch nut, so it'll spin right off. That's the clutch nut that we loosened when we powered it down. We're going to be greasing this surface. Now sometimes when you take it apart, the washer will come off. Sometimes it'll still be on. You want to take the washer off also. So you got the washer and the clutch nut. And at this point, chain wheel slides right off. So we're going to take the chain wheel off. We're going to grease the inside pockets of the chain wheel. And then there's one more washer you've got to get off. At this point, we want to take the inner clutch cone off so we can inspect the seal on the shaft. This seal looks good. There's no wear or cracks in it. I'm going to take the inner clutch cone and put it back on the shaft. And now we're ready to grease the windlass. We're going to take our waterproof trailer wheel bearing grease. We're going to grease the inside clutch cone. Grab the chain wheel. I'm going to grease inside the chain wheel. Now this chain wheel has a plastic cover on it that we need to line up in the housing. So I've lined up the plastic cover. Going to put the washer back on. Going to grease up inside the chain wheel. Clutch nut's going back on. Now I'm going to take the pressure arm, which I've checked to make sure is in good condition. The pressure arm has these tabs on it. There are 4 of them. Down in the housing right here is a hole that I'm going to put this tab in. So the pressure arm's in place. So now we're going to put the housing back on. So you're going to grab the housing, and you want to make sure that you put the tab on the pressure arm, that white part, you want to put it in that little hole. That hole right there. So it's in the hole. If I tighten up one screw, there we go. So I'm tightening up all 4 screws. If you notice my Allen key is long, it's so that I can keep my hands up and off the deck. So if you get a long 5mm Allen key, it'll be a lot easier. So So I've tightened up all the screws. I've got one screw left to go. There's the retaining screw and washer. Put that back in. Okay, so the last thing you want to do is put the gray cap back in. Now, big tip here on how to tighten up your clutch nut and make it easy, just like you took it off. This lever needs to be down. You're going to go back to the windlass switch, turn the power back on, and you're going to power the windlass up till the anchor comes back in the bow roller. That will automatically tighten this clutch nut for you and save you a lot of time. If you don't do that, then you have to tighten it by hand with the handle. So big tip there. So that's how you service your HRCFF. Thank you for watching. Be sure and check out our other videos on Vetus.com.